What's up, guys? My name is Quinn, and welcome to this karate podcast. Episode 13. Wow, already. Hey, it's been a couple of months, but I've been working on this for a long time. I hope you enjoy it. Today, we're going to be talking about how I go about learning a new kata. Today, we'll go through that process, and the next episode is going to be the bunkai and application for gankaku, or Shinto. Now, under normal circumstances, if you wanted to learn a new form, you'd go to the dojo, you'd ask your sensei, and you'd learn it in person. I, unfortunately, do not have that luxury, so I have to be a little bit creative. In this modern age, we have a lot of resources available to help us out. So, the first thing that I go to is my cell phone. Now, I know all you keyboard warriors out there are going to be like, oh, can't just watch YouTube videos. Can't learn the finer points, can't learn the refinements, can't learn whatever from YouTube videos. And to an extent, you're right. There's only so much information you can get from watching a single video, or even multiple videos. But hear me out, there's a lot to this. So I'll grab my cell phone, and I'll look up, for example, Hirokazu Kanazawa on YouTube. And I will watch him do the form, Shinto, or Gankaku in this case, about a dozen times, just so I get a really good feel for the flow and the techniques in the form. After I've watched that video all the way through about a dozen times, I'll then grab my next resource, this guy. What is this? Yeah, I don't have the dust cover, so it's kind of hard to tell, but this is the Karate Do Kyohan by Gichin Funakoshi. And this book has all the finer points that you would learn in person from your sensei. It's got the pictures, of course. It's also got, it's got the words, descriptions for each movement, how you should be balancing yourself, where your hand should be, where your feet should be, what stances you're in, all of it. At least to a good extent in this book. And I will read through this all the way, every single movement, every single description. I'll read through that at least a couple times. After I've read this one, I then will grab my next resource, which is this guy, Karate, the Complete Kata by, look at that, Hirokazu Kanazawa. For those of you who don't know, he is a 10th degree black belt, Shotokan black belt. And it's the exact same thing, basically. Pictures, words, right? Pictures with the written descriptions of what you're doing in the kata. But this is just a little bit different. The book's a little bit newer. The descriptions are more refined, I would say. And this one's easier to keep track of what you're reading. So if you just want a quick reference that has descriptions, I might grab this one. Because like the pictures are always on the same page, mostly, as the written description of that picture. Whereas in Funakoshi's book, unfortunately, that's not always the case. Your written description of what you're doing might be 3 pages back from what you're looking at in the pictures. So both good resources. And when I'm learning a new form, I look at everything there. After that, I go back to YouTube and I go to the mat. Now I'll pull out my cell phone and I will just look at the video. I'll put it down to like 25% speed on YouTube, and I will just do the stances. I will walk through the form, no hands, no, I'm not worrying about like looking the right direction or anything. I'm looking at my phone and I'm going through the foot movements. And I'll do that until I can get the basic pattern down of just the foot movements, what I'm doing there. After that, then I'll add in the hands. And after I get the hands and the foot movements in, I will put my phone away and I'll grab this guy. We've talked about this book before. This is the 25 Shotokan Katas by good old Albrecht Pfluger. And for those of you who might not know what this is, yeah, there's anyone who doesn't, it's these. You've seen these. It's the kata diagrams that you'll find everywhere. If you go on to, Google, just type in the form's name, it's these pictures that pop up. And I will look at this as a reference. Now, as far as memorizing the form, I'll start in thirds. So I'll memorize the first third of the form, and I'll go through that like 10 times. And then I'll memorize the second third of the form, and I'll go from the beginning down through the second third like 10 times again, ish. And then once I get that down, I'll go through the entire form, all 3/3, about 10 times. And after I have a really good feel for it, I'll come back the next day and see if I still remember it. If I do, the next step is application. I will go through the form, and like shadow boxing, I will try to visualize an attack for every single movement of the form. In Gankaku, for example, I came to the conclusion where I'm defending from a single leg or double leg takedown in the opening movement. And I worked with that as I went through the form, visualizing attacks like that. After I visualize the attacks and I'm doing the form and I've gone through that again a bunch of times, then I'll get partners and we can have some real fun, because no kata is done. You're not done learning it until you know what's going on practically in every single movement. So I'll get a partner, I'll test out what I think I saw in the form. And sometimes what I thought I saw works really well. Other times, not so much. But that's why you do it with a partner, so you can refine it and come up with good ideas and crowdsource ideas and all the things you want to do when you're working with a partner. And after that, I can confidently say, yeah, I know this form. Is it maybe a little bit more work than necessary? Yeah, I'd say it is. But at the same time, where I don't have the luxury of training with a teacher, with a sensei, I have to be as thorough as possible. Anyways, guys, I hope that helps you in your own personal studies, because I would love to see karate become something that grows, that is not just limited to the dojo. It's not just limited to your location. A lot of times, like, I've talked to so many people who say, hey, I really want to learn karate, but there's no school close to me. Now, I have a background, obviously, in a formal dojo, and it makes it easier for me to train alone. But I don't think that means that other people who don't have that background can't train alone. I think that we just need to provide resources so that people can do so. Anyways, things are hearing me out. And until next time, sayonara.